The majority of entrepreneurs who try YouTube think they're doing content marketing, but the top 1% treat every piece of content as part of a sales system, and the point of this video is to walk you through the money-making process that they use to generate massive revenue for their businesses, accelerate their authority in the market, and most importantly, turn their YouTube channel into a client-generating machine. The YouTube content marketing versus content sales system model. So, let's walk through an example that everyone probably understands. If you were to start a YouTube channel and you wanted to use this as a business investment, then you make money on this in two main ways. One is that you create educational content hoping to build your brand, and eventually people might see you as an expert and buy something. The other is that you treat each video as a specific step in your sales process, guiding viewers towards becoming customers. But here's the thing, if you just focus on educational content hoping it eventually leads to business, you're basically just crossing your fingers that good content equals business results. You're pretty much just going to make your money from whatever random conversion happens. There are some ways that you can have growth that just happen over time through valuable content. The other is what I call sales conversion by design, which is where you structure your content to address objections, build desire, and move people towards purchase decisions, and suddenly each video becomes worth exponentially more because someone is more likely to buy from you. Very simple. Now the thing is about content marketing, and what I think keeps so many entrepreneurs broke, it's really a simple but indirect business model. You create valuable content, you build an audience of people who consume your information, but there is no clear path from consumption to purchase. As long as you can maintain educational value, you might build authority. But here's the problem. You're hoping that enough people will eventually connect the dots between your free content and your paid services. Your second option is, let's say that you understand how to build a content sales system on YouTube. By contrast with content sales systems, every piece of content serves a specific purpose in moving prospects toward purchase decisions. Number one, instead of just educating people, you're addressing the exact objections and concerns that prevent people from buying your services, and that's also because there's different conversion power. A lot of times, content marketing means you're creating valuable information hoping it eventually leads somewhere, but you have no control over whether people connect your expertise to their problems. But when every video is part of your sales system, you're guiding prospects through the exact mental journey they need to go to become ready to buy. The two identical channels comparison. You have to understand that your channel accelerates in value when you build conversion mechanisms into your content strategy. This is what we see with successful business creators. You think through what are all the barriers to someone becoming your client, and then if one by one you can address those barriers through content, you get counted twice. Instead of just building an audience, you're building a sales machine. This is the big difference between YouTube content marketing versus sales systems. With content marketing, you can't control when or if people decide to buy. Maybe your content can slowly build recognition over time, but you can't take your audience and suddenly guide them through purchase decisions. You're just hoping the right people see you at the right time. You can optimize for better educational content, so there's some upside to content marketing, but you're not going to get a 100x return on YouTube education, but you can get a 100x return on YouTube sales systems all the time, and that's exactly why the people who build real wealth know how to reliably turn YouTube views into qualified sales calls. Let me walk you through how that would actually happen. So let's say you got a channel that's doing 50k views per month, creating general e-com content, covering everything from dropshipping to Amazon to email marketing to social media ads. This channel is not going to be valuable from a conversion perspective. No specific prospect is going to feel compelled to buy because you're covering every topic in e-commerce instead of focusing on the specific problem your service actually solves. Maybe some business owner who needs general help might consider following you as one of many educational sources, not knowing why they should hire you over consuming free content forever, and then probably just keep watching. without ever buying. So someone could get value from your education because you're providing good information, but it doesn't mean you built anything with sales conversion. The magic of sales focused content. Here's the magic. This is how it works. You could have 10 times fewer views per month, but instead of hoping educational content eventually leads to business, you could have each video designed to move prospects closer to buying. You wouldn't need to create dramatically different content. You wouldn't need completely different production skills. The thing is, this transformation is riddled with what you might think is risk. What if I focus on sales and people think I'm too pushy? What if I address objections and sound desperate? What if people stop watching because it's not purely educational? But fundamentally, these aren't risks. They're requirements for business growth. Risk means fundamentally that the return of investment you get from your channel is directly correlated to how intentionally your content moves people towards purchase decisions. So saying that in another way, how likely do you think your channel will continue to generate business results if you just keep creating educational content hoping people eventually buy? If your content directly addresses the objections and concerns that prevent people from hiring you, naturally builds desire for your solution, and guides viewers through the mental journey towards becoming customers, then you're going to get predictable conversion rates. Your views and subscribers become very valuable because they're being prepared to buy. On the other hand, if your content is just educational information that could apply to anyone, then your audience might learn something, but they're not being moved towards purchase decisions. That creates educational value but zero sales conversion, the transformation process. Now the thing is, sometimes the difference between these models doesn't actually take a ton of work. It takes some sales thinking, but not necessarily a complete content overhaul. If your channel is getting decent results through educational content, you probably need to start designing your content around sales processes. You need to identify the specific objections that prevent people from buying your services and address them through videos. You'll probably need to create content that builds desire for your solution and demonstrates why people need your specific help. And because you design your content around sales conversion, you can now create videos that directly move people towards purchase decisions, which gets you more qualified prospects, which gives you more opportunities to close high-value clients, which gives you more case studies to use in future content. Here's the crazy part. This educational content model is basically worth noting from a sales perspective. Let's say you're moderately successful at designing content that converts, so your videos consistently address objections and move people towards buying, and your content process prepares prospects to say yes when you make offers. The 3 pillars of YouTube sales systems. Here's what you need to understand about YouTube as a sales tool. There are fundamentally only 3 ways that you build a channel into something that consistently converts viewers into customers. Number 1 is you design your content around specific objections and concerns that prevent people from buying your services. Number 2 is you create content sequences that build desire for your solution and demonstrate why people need your specific help. And number 3 is you develop conversion mechanisms that guide viewers from education to purchase decisions through your content. Whenever you're spending time or money on your YouTube channel, it has to connect to, is this addressing an objection that prevents people from hiring me? Is this building desire for my solution? Or is this moving people closer to a purchase decision? If you can't clearly state how your content addresses sales objections, how you know it's building desire for your services, or how you know it's moving people towards buying, then you have to ask yourself, is this the best use of your time and effort? Next is the business model hierarchy. You probably think about YouTube backwards. You spend time creating educational content that's worth nothing from a sales perspective, and that's why a lot of business owners don't get the returns they expect when they try YouTube. You either have to generate more qualified business leads, or you have to increase the conversion rate of those leads over time. And you get more qualified leads by creating content that addresses specific problems your ideal clients have, and you increase conversion by designing content that moves people towards purchase decisions. Let me give you the revenue hierarchy that you should follow as a business creator. Level number 1. Sponsorship revenue. You're competing with entertainment creators. Limited upside, completely dependent on YouTube's algorithm and advertiser budgets. Here you have a slight advantage over entertainment creators since the business niche has a higher RPM, which means you make more per views. Level number 2. Affiliate revenue. Slightly better because you're recommending business tools, but you're still dependent on other people's products commission structures. Level 3. Course sales. It's good because it's your product but limited scalability and you're competing with thousands of other course creators. Level number 4. Consulting/coaching. Much higher ticket, direct service delivery, but you're trading time for money. And level number 5, done for you services, highest ticket recurring revenue, and you can build a team around it. The top 1% of business creators focus exclusively on levels 4 and 5. You should use YouTube to position yourself as the obvious choice for high ticket services. The compound effect. Here's one of the other big things that people don't get about YouTube as a sales tool. Unlike educational content, which has linear impact, sales-focused content compounds exponentially. With educational content, if you teach 100 people something valuable, you've helped 100 people, but they may never buy anything. It's linear value creation. But with sales-focused content, your first 50 videos might generate a few interested prospects, but your next 50 videos might generate some qualified calls. But videos 100 to 150 might generate more revenue than everything before combined, because now you have proven sales arguments, documented objection handling, and content that's been tested to convert viewers into customers. This compound effect happens because each piece of content builds on your previous sales messaging. Your audience becomes more ready to buy over time, your conversion arguments become more refined, and your sales process becomes more effective. The long-term wealth creation strategy. Here's why the top 1% of business creators make exponentially more money than everyone else. They understand that YouTube is not a get-rich-quick platform, it's a get-rich-reliable system. You probably can't wait for 6 months to see business results from YouTube, but the creators making serious money think in terms of 2 to 3 years sales conversion development cycles. When you stick with one focused sales message for multiple years, you don't just build an audience, you build a conversion machine for solving specific problems for specific people. And conversion machines are where the real money is made. You probably simply can't stick with one sales focus long enough to see compound results. You're always looking for the next opportunity, the next trend, the next platform. But think about the logical extreme. One creator starts a new content strategy every 6 months, another creator develops one focused sales conversion process for 5 straight years, never deviating, always going deeper on the same core problem and solution. Who makes more money? You already know. If you just think about what your action leads to, you can reverse engineer what your actions will give you the most return for your effort. And that is how you can use YouTube to create generational wealth for your business. Now, while these strategies are incredibly effective, the reality is that consistently implementing them, designing content around sales processes, and addressing specific objections, building conversion sequences takes significant time and expertise that most business owners simply don't have. You're already busy running your business, serving clients, and managing operations. The last thing you need is to become a part-time YouTube sales conversion expert on top of everything else. That's precisely why we developed our done-for-you YouTube content sales system that handles this entire process from sales-focused content strategy to production to conversion, all focused on generating qualified sales calls for your business. We help entrepreneurs add 10 to 30 qualified sales calls to their calendar every single month using these exact sales conversion frameworks. If you'd like to see how we can implement this content sales system for your business without you having to figure it out yourself, click the first link in the description to book a free strategy call. And if you want to avoid the biggest 7 mistakes that most creators do, click this video here and